Go.
Hello out there. It's Phil Daniels. I'm delivering a video response to Frost's video presentation for class. I decided to deliver it out here in the backyard in Columbus, Ohio. The thesis, basically, or the general crux of Frost's argument, was to frame the answer to a question of what it means to create a church in 21st century America by using the example of 4th century monks in Ireland. The problem with Frost's lecture was not so much what Frost put into it, but the sheer quantity of things left out, which are myriad. Namely, what does it mean to actually be a church? Frost misses this point completely, and instead delivers a how-to lecture of how to disciple one-on-one, but in doing so, completely misses how to disciple at all. Frost instead imagines that discipling is merely a matter of, as he says, being in a cell and being in a coracle. Well, the cell is one, in his vision, of just one person. And yet when he talks about the coracle as well, he's talking about two people being in that boat. Obviously, the church is always about being in a group, and yet from Frost's vision, we only see the church as one individual. This reduces ecclesiology to nothing more than my pride and my ego going out and trying to convert as many people as possible, or in the parlance of today's language, winning souls. German Catholic theologian Gerhard Löffing talks a great deal about how the ancient church saw this, and the amazing thing was Löffing did not view it as an individual sort of journey into making and winning souls. Rather, Löffing viewed it as an entirely, as he put it, eschatological gathering of God's people. This is located on page 150 of Jesus and Community. And he reads from the Didache, "Remember, Lord, thy church to deliver it from all evil, to make it perfect in thy love, and gather it together in its holiness from the four winds to thy kingdom, which thou hast prepared for it." Meaning, the church is not about us going out, being perfectly disciplined, and going out and grabbing people into the church. Rather, the church is about the Holy Spirit creating a community and us living into that community, even where the church is not visible. Another person to reference here is, of course, Dietrich Bonhoeffer in his first seminal work, Sanctorum Communio. On page, I've got to get to it, around page 79 and 80, as well as 81, we begin to see the notion of how the I-ness has got to be different from the group together. As he puts it, in God's eyes, community and individual exist in the same moment and rest in one another. The collective unit and the individual unit have the same structure in God's eyes. On these basic relations rest the concepts of the religious community and the church. Clearly, an individual who merely goes into his or her cell and disciplines themselves is missing the greater concept of what it means to be a church. The problem with Frost is Frost does not get the fact that churches are communities, and the point of the church is to build a community. Finally, another major problem with Frost is this. We know for a fact from the latest statistics that church planters who go off by themselves to found a church have a far greater failure rate as a community that goes out and tries to start up a religious church organ. To go off by yourself, as Frost seems to imply, is not just foolish. It may actually even be anti-biblical. And while the church has a hard time saying that is folly based off of sins of omission, we have a much easier time, of course, talking about sins of commission. Frost's sin of omission may be just as bad, if not worse, than any sin of commission created in ecclesiology. Thank you. Yeah, you also kept on, it was recording just then too.